Hello, everybody, and welcome to the final meeting of our class. It's been 7 weeks, and it has gone by really, really fast, at least on my end, hopefully on your end as well. Hopefully you've enjoyed week 6 because you only have one assignment to do. And so with that, I'm going to share my screen. I don't have a lot for you today as we go into week 7. I know in some of the classes here at St. Thomas that week 7 is usually like the really, really busy week where you've got some huge papers coming up. And we've got a huge paper for this class, but in the big scheme of things, it's really not too terrible. So let's take a look at things. Now, I don't have a reflection for this week because you had your one assignment. And I did notice that we had a couple people that have submitted theirs, so I haven't graded them yet, so I don't have anything to look off of, and you didn't have a discussion post for this week, so I don't have that piece to share with you, but we've got plenty more, so we're just going to dig right into the assignments for this week. So we have one more discussion, and it's a good kind of summary type one, and it's pretty simple. What are 3 takeaways for you from this course, and how can they be implemented into an organization? So this is going to be where I'm going to break my first person rule and say, yeah, you're going to need to write this one in the first person because they're your takeaways from this course. And so as you go into this, I want you to just kind of keep a few things in mind because there are some rules that are still true, just like we see with every discussion post. You'll still need this to be at least 200 words and still utilize at least 2 scholarly references. So you need to kind of keep that in mind as you are kind of thinking through your 3 takeaways for the course and how you would like to implement them into an organization. But I want you to be realistic about this and about the things that we've discussed here and what you can kind of take away into your current situation right now or what you would like to be able to evolve your situation into. So just kind of keep this in mind. It shouldn't be too difficult to do. As always, your initial post is due on Thursday and your 2 peer responses are due on Sunday. So your assignment for this week is a bigger one for this course. And so you are going to be doing a case analysis. And so you're expected to research 3 U.S. Supreme Court cases that are related to school law. 2 of them you should know really, really well, especially the very first one, Brown versus Board of Education. And if you're not familiar with that one or Tinker versus Des Moines, you're going to want to read up on those because they are very important ones that, just as an educator, you should know these. It's just setting the foundation for your knowledge in school law. And then you're going to choose one on your own out there. And so when you go into the assignment section of the course room and you find this, there's actually an example that there's been posted for you. So I'm going to get out of this for just a second and switch over. And it's going to look like this. Now, I took out some language up at the top. Now, when you open this up, you're going to notice that it's going to have some instructions right before the example case here that are a little outdated because it actually says something about having to research 5 Supreme Court cases and that this assignment's worth 25 points, 5 for each case. That stuff's not true anymore, okay? This assignment's worth 20 points, so it's worth a lot of points, but you're only doing 3. You're not doing 5. So just basically ignore the top part here and just go to the example because I know sitting in your shoes on your side of the screen that you're just wanting to know, like, how should these look? And so this is a really good example, and you can't use this one. So Perry Education Association versus the Perry Local Education Association, you cannot use this case as one of your 3. But you can kind of see how this was broken down. I'd like you to do it the same sort of way. And here's some notes for you of things you can kind of look at as far as how to be able to cite things properly. And you're going to put when it was argued, when it was decided, what the vote was. All this stuff should be accessible to you. And then just dig into the facts of the case, any of the legal principles at issue, legal basis for the decision. And you'll notice just if you take each part of this and the implications for school principles, you take each part of it, and this winds up being about 1.5 pages or so, maybe 2 pages as you get into this. In fact, I would like you to stretch it out a little bit more. Now, you can do this double-spaced, of course. This is single-spaced. So if you double-space it, it's going to wind up being more. Let's go ahead and just do that real quick just so you kind of get a feel for how big this actually would be. If you look, yeah, this is about 2.5 pages, which is going to be plenty, all right? I would like to see a little bit more in this section on implications for school principals. You kind of look at this example, and it's really only 2 sentences. I don't love any type of section that's only 2 sentences at the graduate level. So I would like you to make this part a little bit more robust, please. So just because there's 2 sentences in the example doesn't mean that's what I want. I want you to do more than that, okay? You don't have to have quotables in there if you don't want to. It's kind of nice to have them in there, but not required. But what is required is each one of these sections be included in your paper, okay? And so this is one case analysis, and you're going to do 3 of these. 2 of them are going to be based off of the same court, or off of similar court cases for everybody, Brown versus Board of Education, Tinker versus Des Moines, and then you're going to choose one on your own, all right? So when this is all finished, your paper should be 6 to 8 pages in length, excluding title pages and reference pages. So think 2 to 2.5 pages per case analysis, okay? You are going to have a title page for this paper, and you will have a reference page, obviously, and you're going to have a reference page because you're going to be citing some information here. So just kind of keep that in mind. Be thorough in your writing. Like I said about the implications or how you're going to be able to use this as a principle, I don't want you to do single sentence, things like that. I want you to make sure that you're giving me full descriptions of things. And do not write these in the first person. Now, there's one thing here that kind of, I don't know how much I love this, so I'm going to make a little change on this. You're going to notice in the assignment it talks about incorporating a minimum of 5 to 7 current scholarly journal articles within your work. I'm going to change this. In fact, I'm going to change a couple things here just for you guys, so pay attention here, please. I'm going to remove this section. I don't like this because you're doing case analysis. So if you're digging into Brown versus Board of Education, really that should be the source you're looking for. You're breaking that down for us. So we're going to take away that. We're also going to take away the need for a reference page. And the reason why is because if you follow our example here, you're citing your case right here at the very beginning as you get into it. So if you're doing Brown versus Board of Education, you make that the title, then go right into your citation, okay? If you do format it just like this, you don't need a reference page, okay? So I'm basically telling you, that you do not need to worry about the 5 to 7 references or the reference page as long as you properly cite it within your case analysis, okay? So hopefully that's clear as mud for everybody on that. But there's no point in making you guys do a bunch of extra work for no purpose whatsoever. So this is your big paper. So how I would be thinking about this is don't try to tackle all 3 of them in one day. Take some time, do your research, and then just get yourself a pattern. Have a research day, have a writing day. Have a research day, have a writing day. Have a research day, have a writing day, submit. Piece of cake, okay? Don't overwhelm yourself, especially since your discussion post is going to be based a lot off your own personal opinion with a little bit of research in there, nothing too overwhelming. But remember that our class ends on Sunday, so that is the last day you can submit work. This is a very small class for me. I've only got 4 of you, so and even when I have 14, I make it a point to have all grades completed and submitted by Monday. So if you're thinking, well, I'll just submit it late, there's no chance. If you do not submit all of your assignments by Sunday, you will not receive a grade on anything that's left over. So please keep that in mind. And so with that said, you also will not have opportunities for revisions and resubmissions on your final assignment. So make sure you're sending in your very best work. But that's it, folks. I mean, that's week 7. So we have covered a lot of information during this time. We've seen a lot of heartbreaking videos and some very interesting case studies out there, and had some really great discussions in the course room. And so hopefully this has been a beneficial course for you. There's so much to learn in school law, and it's always changing. So it's important to try to do your best to try to keep up with it, to keep yourself out of trouble as you advance in your career. And hopefully this just kind of lays the foundation of that for you. So as always, if you need anything, make sure you send me an email. Remember, our course ends on Sunday, so make sure you have all your work submitted by that point. Otherwise, have a great week. Good luck out there, and I look forward to reading your analysis, your discussion posts. Take care.